Freakonomics Radio is sponsored by Adidas. Check out the latest footwear innovation from Adidas, the Adizero Adios Pro 2, which features carbon fiber energy rods that are both lightweight and precisely tuned for a more anatomical transition. Everything from the ultra-light polyester upper to the re-sculpted midsole and the reinvented outsoles are designed for speed. Visit adidas.com to learn more today.
It's time for the Fantasy Football Guys.
That's awesome.
Filling your ear holes with gooey, sticky football knowledge since 2005. Here they are, Lyle Conkeel and Kevin Moore, the Fantasy Football Guys.
That's right. We're the Fantasy Football Guys. Kevin?
Ayo.
And welcome to the show. It is opening day week, ladies and gentlemen.
It is opening day week.
You're excited. Feel these nipples. Thank you, Bob Costas, for saying that wonderful line from Pootie Tang, I believe it was, wasn't it?
Dude, Pootie Tang is such an underrated movie.
It is. If you haven't seen Pootie Tang, you got to watch Pootie Tang.
It's so stupid that it's genius. I'll tell you what else, another movie that everybody needs to watch right now.
Okay.
Because I'm telling you right now, this movie, which is an American classic, to be honest, has predicted so many things.
Yes.
Over the recent months and years, and that is a film by the name of Idiocracy.
Idiocracy.
It is a fantastic movie.
It's
almost a documentary shot in real time at this point.
I don't know that they're going to come out with a show called Ow My Balls.
Bro.
But they could.
Have you seen reality TV lately? Okay, it might not be called Ow My Balls, but it definitely feels like Ow My Balls. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Okay.
Have you ever watched The Jersey Shore or The Kardashians or anything?
No.
Okay. Well, sometimes my wife and daughters watch this
No
stuff.
need to justify your addictions, bro. You go right ahead.
And I'll walk by a TV and it might be on.
And you'll feel compelled to sit down and
Negative.
look in.
No, I never watch it. It's horrible, but they watch it. Mm-hmm. And when I see it, I'm reminded of Ow My Balls. Not because it's the same premise, but because I feel as idiotic. I've been kicked in the balls. And it makes about as much sense.
So it would be you getting kicked.
Correct.
See?
Yep,
right.
It's Jaws 3D, except it's Kardashian, and you're getting kicked in the nuts.
All right, enough digression. If you want to get a hold of us somewhere on the interwebs, you can do that. Reddit, you can go to reddit.com/r/TFFG. There, the first sticky post is about how you can get onto our Discord server.
Which is really where it's at.
Which is really kind of happening. Reddit's cool. But I find myself gravitating more towards Discord than Reddit. We're going to have to not do that all season long. But anyway, join in there. We play Among Us on Wednesday nights. We do, we're going to have a watch party for when the games are on. Bring your own beer Sundays, and whatever. So that's going to be cool. When we draft,
one of us may or may not be streaming the actual games, allegedly, hypothetically speaking.
I know nothing about that. Anyway, and when we're drafting tonight, say we're drafting the Guillotine League, we're going to be talking in there. So you can check that out. If you want to catch us on Twitter, we are at TFFG. You can also go to TFFG Robbie. He's starting his DFS show this week. He was telling me he's gotten in all three of the top DFS. That would be DraftKings, FanDuel, and Yahoo. He's able to wrangle it so that he could have a couple of top-notch players that you want to have. So I'm not going to ruin it. I want you to listen to his show, but that's cool. So TFFG Robbie, give him a follow. And, of course, email, which is thefantasyfootballguys@gmail.com.
I haven't checked that lately. I wonder if we have.
I check it every day, bro.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Wow, look at you on top of stuff.
If it's not me, then who? Dude, I logged in for Lyle last night because he was having internet issues for our Dynasty League draft.
Which he did a very good job, by the way. I want to thank Kevin for putting his best foot forward for a friend in need.
Yeah. I sometimes drafted guys for him that I'd want, but I was like, if Lyle was here, this is who he would get.
I was pleased with my draft, and unfortunately, I was down for the count. My internet, it's back tonight, but my internet went out yesterday about 6 o'clock. I was in a tree.
Yeah?
Yeah, and the wife calls and goes, "Hey, I was hunting, And
I was wondering, you were just climbing trees.
Yeah, I was just hanging out in trees. But, I was in a tree hunting, and she goes, hey, the internet's down. I don't want to bother you while you're hunting. Go ahead and do your thing. But if you want internet before your draft tonight, you might want to come home. And I was like, I'll be there right away. And I spent 3 hours on the phone. Well,
not getting internet.
Yeah. Then they had to come out today and fix it. So.
All right. So a lot to get to. We have the full slate of games. By the way, tonight's draft, 18 teams.
Oof.
13 rounds.
It's going to be rough.
It is going to be a little bit rough. Oh, damn, I just closed the window instead of highlighting it.
What's up, Mass Miami Law? I think that's how you say your name. Greetings from the 305, he says. What's up?
What is the 305? Where might that be?
Area code 305 is Miami, Florida.
Hey, how about that?
I should have known that by his MS Miami Law. So it's MS.
So Lyle from My Cooler has the not the other one, bro. It's from Cigar City, Tampa.
Oh, yeah.
This is from Tampa, not Miami, but he's about to have a High Life
I'm gonna crack
IPA,
that, yeah.
which is damn fine.
You ever watch any High Life?
I have not seen it.
It is effing wild.
It is very. It's like one of the most dangerous sports you can play.
It's wild, dude. You ever play trackball?
Yes.
It's kind of not remotely like trackball, but it has similar tools.
You have a thing on your hand that's curved, and
it looks like, you ever see somebody with like nails that are way too long?
Yes.
It looks like that. And you catch and throw a thick ball with it.
All right. Nelson Aguilar limited in practice today, so it's not boding well for the Patriots. It's weird about that dude, man. He had some success last year, and now he's on the Patriots and is one of the top receivers there. He's starting. It'll be interesting to see if he can hang on to passes thrown to him in the end zone there. Anyway, Kenny Golladay, no shock here, is limited in practice today with a hammy. Dude he's a great receiver when he's not hurt. We just haven't seen that in like a year and a half.
Like ever. Honestly.
Yeah.
He's always banged
up.
He's
hampered by something.
But I mean, I wish him the best. I mean, I think he's an extremely talented individual.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Well, all these guys we're talking about are. Even the guys who aren't quite there. I was talking with my son today about a player, a guy named Andre Patton, who was a local kid, went to St. Elizabeth's, etc.
I remember him, yeah.
Drafted to the Chargers.
Did he go to St. E's?
He went to St. E's.
I thought that was an all-girls school.
No, it's not.
I may be thinking about something else. Okay.
Anyway, so great player, Delaware Player of the Year, both ways. Receiver, defense. He was a great player in Delaware. Went to Rutgers, got drafted out of Rutgers, or didn't get drafted. He was free agent out of Rutgers, right?
Free agent signing.
So he banged around. He was on the Chargers 53 for a better part of a season. Caught some passes. Phillip Rivers was the quarterback, so that was cool, I'm sure. He was on practice squad here, practice squad there, and ended up at the practice squad in Philadelphia. In camp for Philadelphia, and was one of the final cuts. It's like it's got to suck to be like, if you were like 2% better,
yeah,
it would be your dream.
I don't even know if it's that.
I don't know, but
because
the thing is,
I bet he's as good as J.J. Arcega-Whiteside.
No doubt. But
right?
But the circumstances say we got to keep this guy because of the money and this
Correct.
guy. But now at 27, right? He's not. It's going to be hard to get on a practice squad there because those are generally reserved for up and comers. At 27, are you still an up and comer?
Yeah,
it's hard to say.
It's tough.
So I mean, great player. I mean, he still runs a 4.5. He's still got sticky hands.
Again,
he's just
special teams, bro.
Just not quite. In the right circumstance or whatever. That's got to be unfortunate. But dude has had 5-year career in the NFL, gotten paid to play football for 5 years.
It's pretty good, man.
I would take it. Would you take that?
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Another digression, but get used to it if you're new to the show. That's kind of what we do.
We're going to do that.
DeAndre Swift, who I think is probably going to outperform his ADP this year if he can stay healthy.
I hope you're right.
He was a full participant in practice today. So if you drafted him in the first 5, we're going to get to this later. If you drafted him in the first 5 rounds, you kind of got to play him.
Don't get
if
cute.
He's healthy.
Don't get cute.
Your boy Chris Godwin is a full participant in practice.
That's good because I saw the other day that he was hampered, and I was like, you know what? These MFers better stop effing with my effing team. MFing.
That's mother forking.
No, I saw that, and I was like...
It's a quad. I guess he had a bruise or whatever, but he's full participant today. So he's on a lot of people's teams, everybody's team. If there's a team in a league, he's on it.
Well said, Kevin.
Thank you. T.J. Watt, who was a hold in. That's the thing, though. You don't hold out.
You hold in
because they confine you. But you go to camp and you go to, but you're not playing because you're holding in.
Right.
Practiced in full on Wednesday. Apparently, he hasn't gotten paid yet, but he's going to go ahead and take part.
He's going to play football.
Yeah. So I don't know if they cocked him down, he cocked them down. They both agreed to just readdress it at some point.
I think the term is pecker.
Kadarius Toney could see some significant play this week.
Oh, okay.
If you're desperate enough to throw a Giants rookie wide receiver into the mix, I don't know. I think you probably have better options.
Hard pass, but I get it.
But somebody to grab and stash, I guess, right? Curtis Samuel in his groin left practice earlier, and he's probably going to be questionable right up to game time. I hate to see that, man. I mean, those groin injuries can last all season long, just like hammies, just like, bum ankles, etc. So watch out for him. Let's see, Evan Ingram didn't practice today, so watch out for that if you're counting on him for your game this week. Let's see what else we got going on here. Dude, as my buddy, your buddy too, Ross Tucker said, the Houston Texans have sent a message to their locker room about how committed to winning they are this year as they trade starting cornerback Bradley Roby to the Saints. Mm-hmm. Good for the Saints.
And they name Tyrod the starting quarterback, which isn't...
What else are you going to do?
Could name Deshaun Watson the starting quarterback.
Yeah, but I don't see that happening. I don't think he wants to do it.
I don't care. You say Deshaun Watson is the guy that we're trotting out there. He's not suspended. He's on the team. We're paying him.
Yeah. Big money they're paying him.
Yeah. Listen, if I have an organization, I put the guy, I go, hey, this guy gives us the best chance to win. Right now, there's an investigation, but it's not settled. He's on the field. If he refuses to play, that's on him. But we as an organization put our best team forward.
I agree. But also, maybe in their own investigation, they know he's guilty AF.
It doesn't look good.
So they don't want that man representing their team.
Then cut him.
Yeah, but that's difficult. Dead money and all that kind of stuff.
Dude, you have to, what's the term? Poo or get off the pot, Kevin?
Fisher cut bait, I think, would have been a better way to go.
I don't know. I like mine.
Carson Wentz, foot and COVID issues to be a full participant in practice. He did today, so apparently he's going to start this Sunday, which is amazing considering the fact that he had a bone removed from his foot like 5 weeks ago.
You got like 112 of them in your foot. It's not that big of a deal.
Yeah, one extra, but this one was apparently loose and flopping around, causing issues.
Yeah.
And then
What if that just corrects everything? And now he steps straight now.
Right.
He throws correctly now. And
it
was just the bone.
He's able to throw the ball away when he's hurried.
Right.
As opposed to
it was
fumbling.
The bone caused everything.
Yeah. He's like, what's the matter, Carson? I had a bone in my foot.
Yeah, it was a weird bone. It messed me all up. Now we're good, though.
So part of the issue with Carson, of course, for people who comment on this sort of thing, and apparently I'm going to be one of them, but I'm not going to give my opinion. He's unvaccinated, so there's still the risk of him missing games going forward.
Yep.
So that's a decision he's going to make on his own, regardless of how much chirping comes at him.
Kevin.
That's true. So I don't know if he's worth a pickup even at this point because you want consistency and availability.
His potential is probably worth a late round draft or a roll of the dice, waiver wire. But other than that, hard pass.
Yeah. Kerryon Johnson worked out for the Raiders earlier in the week. He didn't walk away with a contract, so I'm not real sure how that's going to go. Bad news if you picked up Ramondre Stevenson from the Patriots in a draft earlier. He dislocated his thumb in practice last week. Don't know how it's going to go as far as what he's going to be able to do this week against Miami.
Poorly. It's going to go poorly.
Well, yeah, I mean, if he can pop it back in and wrap it up, he might be all right. But he's listed third on the depth chart, so who knows? But it's the Patriots, so he could get the biggest share of the carries.
Yeah, he could start. honestly, on that team.
Which makes me nervous because I do have some Damian Harris shares in my portfolio.
Yeah.
And that's my damn fault. Danny Amendola, now a Texan. Sorry to hear that, bro.
So his career is over?
Pretty much. I mean, he's going to get paid to play football.
Listen, Ty God's not bad.
No.
Right? You know, he's just not
Deshaun Watson.
Right. And the Texans are probably one of the worst teams in the NFL.
They're in the bottom 3 anyway.
Yeah.
But this is kind of what I was talking about with Andre. I mean, here's a guy who is pretty good, right?
Yeah.
He gets onto squads and he makes a difference here and there. What's the difference between that dude and any dude who's a practice squad player? Minimal stuff.
Yeah, minimal.
Minimal stuff.
Yeah.
Anyway, Le'Veon Bell, speaking of guys who are on practice squads, signed with the Ravens, going to start on their practice squad, and I would guess within a couple of weeks.
I saw people picking him up.
I drafted him last night in the Dynasty League in the 10th round.
Here's
Why not?
the thing, man. I got to be honest, man. If Gus Edwards is healthy this year, he might be a top 5 running back.
If they actually give him the rock.
This team loves to run the football. We know that he is capable.
We do know that.
Right? And he's got almost no competition.
Well, the competition he has had is falling by the wayside.
Yeah.
You know, at this point, if I'm a running back, I'd be worried to join the Ravens.
and Hill both went down, so.
And I got to tell you this, and I was telling you this earlier, Lyle, but our friend Drew was unable to make the draft last night because it was too late for him, and it was. He asked me to move it too late, so I didn't want to mess up our West Coasters. So,
oh my God,
isn't that fantastic?
That's fantastic.
That's the High Life from the Cigar City Brewing Company.
That is fantastic.
I picked that up when I was in Florida earlier this year.
Very tasty.
Yeah, dude. So first round pick, he gets it's auto drafting for him. It gives him Dobbins.
Oh yeah, you told me.
Second round, he gets Travis Etienne. Third round, he gets Irv Smith. I'm like,
dude, what's happening? Well, because
I felt so bad for him, dude.
These are high-rated players.
Sure.
That are unfortunately injured.
And Flea Flicker puts their list out at the beginning and never changes it.
But the thing is, though, in a dynasty league, those aren't terrible picks.
No, next year it's going to be great.
If you can sit on them, yeah, they're not terrible picks. Irv Smith might be, but the other two are not. Etienne certainly should be drafted in
Absolutely.
that league.
Yeah.
You know, so.
Let's see what else we got here. We know Latavius Murray was released by the Saints. He's going to find a job somewhere.
I think we got it. Let's get to these games. We got a lot of them, Kevin.
I do want to say that local boy went to Salesianum, a guy named Brian O'Neill, who's a right tackle for the Minnesota Vikings.
Yeah.
Signed an extension today. It's a $92 million, I think, 5 or 6 year deal.
Good for him.
But like $52 million guaranteed, I think.
Good for him, man.
It's like,
good for you, bro.
Wow.
Make that money.
Like to see Delaware kids do well.
Yeah, because, nobody from here ever does anything.
Well, certainly
Joe
not.
Flacco.
I don't think he's Delawarean, though. He went to Delaware.
He's not Delawarean.
I think he's
but
Pennsylvania.
He transferred to the University of Delaware, and then he was a Super Bowl MVP.
Still is.
I guess, yes, technically. So
that's not the kind of thing you lose.
He's in the Hall of Fame because of that. He won't be there like with a gold jacket,
or a bust.
But he will be there because of that game.
But yeah, I agree. I'm with you.
Freakonomics Radio is sponsored by Adidas. Check out the latest footwear innovation from Adidas, the Adizero Adios Pro 2, which features carbon fiber energy rods that are both lightweight and precisely tuned for a more anatomical transition. Everything from the ultra-light polyester upper to the re-sculpted midsole and the reinvented outsoles are designed for speed. Visit adidas.com to learn more today. Freakonomics Radio is sponsored by Adidas. Check out the latest footwear innovation from Adidas, the Adizero Adios Pro 2, which features carbon fiber energy rods that are both lightweight and precisely tuned for a more anatomical transition. Everything from the ultra-light polyester upper to the re-sculpted midsole and the reinvented outsoles are designed for speed. Visit adidas.com to learn more today.
All right, so our mantra for the first game of the season, and the second and third, really, is don't get cute. We've been saying that this is the 17th season. that we've been saying don't get cute week one.
Yeah.
You go, well, this guy's got high upside. No. The guys that you drafted early, first through 7th round, including whatever your first tight end pick is and whatever your quarterback pick is, those are the people you chose to play. Don't get cute thinking, I'm going to put I'm going to put Terrence Marshall in, okay? Unless you're in a place where you can play 4 wide receivers and he's your best option, chances are you don't have to play him or anybody that you picked up in the 12th or 13th or 17th round. So with that in mind, it's going to be pretty simple to go through these games because we can say, if you have Dak Prescott, you're playing him. If you got Zeke, you're playing him. Tony Pollard is nice. We'll talk about him in week 4. The good news, if you're a Cowboys fan / own shares of Amari Cooper, CeeDee Lamb, or Michael Gallup, all 3 of those guys are playable.
For sure.
And Dalton Schultz and Blake Jarwin, if you drafted either of those guys, shame on you. Unless you forgot about a tight end until the 15th or something. But really, it's pretty simple. I have a feeling this is going to be a pretty high-scoring game. And so, yes, absolutely play the studs from here.
10-3.
Yeah, well.
It's early in the season. You never know. Teams are rusty.
Well, that's true. But they've been at camp for a while. But the thing is, a lot of these starters haven't been in. Dak hasn't seen preseason action, right?
Right.
For a while.
Yeah, he's played a game since, week 5 last year?
Something, yeah. So, yeah, practice goes up to game speed when you have other teams in, but it's not quite game speed. It's, it's 11 on 11, 2 different teams, game speed. So, yes, be comfortable playing any of those guys. Same thing with the Bucs players. Obviously, if you pick Tom Brady, you're going to play him.
Maybe. You could have drafted him as your second quarterback if you
probably
you drafted 2.
You could have
close together.
However, with the receivers that this guy has, how can you go wrong? Really, unless you were a person who got Mahomes or Tannehill or Josh Allen.
That was a leap.
Yeah, no. Well,
yes, Mahomes, Josh Allen for sure. Tannehill's not in the same conversation.
Tannehill's like a 6th round guy, though. What I'm saying is early round guys.
I know, but it's just.
I know it was there was a gap there.
Unless you got Mahomes or Tannehill,
right?
Like,
there's only a couple guys in that stretch.
Fine,
Allen,
but there's a significant drop off.
Perhaps Russell.
Yeah.
Anyway, so. Maybe you would get Brady in the 9th round, but if you got one of those early quarterbacks, you shouldn't have taken Brady then. You should have waited to get, somebody who's not nearly as good, because then you're going to wonder who you're going to play every week if you have one of those 2 guys. So anyway, If you have Brady, you should absolutely consider playing him because even though the Cowboys' offense is real good, their defense gained exactly 1 decent player, and he's a rookie.
And they were terrible last year.
They're not any better.
Yeah, they were terrible.
So,
this is not Homer talk. This is just them being bad. I'll be totally honest with you.
Look at the stats.
I think they could have one of the best offenses in the NFL, but their defense is going to be.
And they're still only going to win 9 games.
Yeah, their defense is going to be in the bottom 10. It's just they're really bad.
Now the thing about these running backs is Fournette and Ronald Jones. Neither of them were high draft picks. You were probably able to get Fournette in the 8th or 9th, and Ronald Jones probably around the same or later. So don't feel the need to play them unless you're in a really, really deep league.
Flex is probably fine at some point.
Maybe, yeah.
But,
probably not week 1.
Yeah.
Again, I'm in a league that I can start 4 wide receivers or 4 running backs. I have to start 2, can start 4. So Fournette is actually one of my running backs.
Yeah, it's fair.
Mike Evans, Chris Godwin, Antonio Brown, absolutely. Antonio Brown, not as much as Evans and Godwin, but I think Antonio Brown should be at least considered for your flex.
For sure.
Scotty Miller, it's too early. O.J. Howard, Cameron Brate, and Rob Gronkowski. Who's to say, man? You got 3 decent tight ends there. Obviously, Gronk is a guy you'd want to put in, but
one's a Hall of Famer. The other 2 are decent.
One's a Hall of Famer, not based on what he's doing now.
Correct.
Right, but who knows how they're going to be on the field? What the snap count between the 3 of them will be? If I had Gronkowski, I would play him. If I had Brate, I'd probably play him. I want to see something from Howard more than what I've seen so far.
Yeah, I agree with
before
that.
I jump into that ship.
Okay. I'm sorry, guys, but this is going to be one of many. Jags, Texans.
One of many, real quick. Don't play any of these guys' games?
You don't start a rookie quarterback in their first start, so that's a hard pass on Trevor Lawrence. I will be watching,
And hopeful.
James Robinson, we're going to play.
Sure.
He was an early off draft pick. We're going to play him. No questions. Just pump him into your lineup. Hyde, definitely hard pass. Everybody else, hard pass, pretty much. Shark, if he's your flex or for some reason you drafted like a whole bunch of running backs and he's your WR2, okay, I guess. But I would be questioning my draft strategy. I like Shenault. I like Jones.
Yeah.
But these are people that will play later in the season. They'll probably be waiver wire pickups. And if you drafted them, you're probably going to drop them and then at some point in the season regret that.
And probably not win.
Yeah. The tight ends, even though Oshag Nasty has a great name and Hollister is slightly ahead of him on the depth chart, we're not going to play those guys either until we get some data.
Right.
From the Texans side, it's actually slightly better, believe it or not. Obviously, we're not going to play Tyrod, but he's probably not a bad go. He probably belongs on a team, but I wouldn't play him.
Are you going to pick him up?
I would pick him up as like my third quarterback, sure. You don't know. I mean, dude, he could,
Agreed. But the thing is I almost never carry a third quarterback.
I do if they have upside potential, and maybe he does. I don't know. But obviously, what we're going to do here is David Johnson, probably flex. You drafted him early enough to do that, and Brandon Cooks.
Well, Lindsey maybe. He's kind of listed as the starter, so who's to say?
They're kind of the same people.
They are.
It's a
little
hard,
dudes
it's
who
a
can
hard
catch.
pass, honestly. Like if I'm being honest, it's a hard pass on both of these teams. Again, Cooks will catch some passes, but that's really
and it's not to say that players from this game from these two teams won't emerge, but it's hard to trust them week one.
Not week one.
Hard to trust them.
I need to see what's going on, what they're doing with the offense. Listen, every year there are teams we know are going to be bad, and then they're not. Right?
There are a lot of worst to first teams.
Totally possible.
Every year, at least one team goes worst to first in their division.
It's totally possible that the Texans will surprise people and win way more games than they should.
Like 3.
Right? But all data at this point points to them being terrible, and they lost their best offensive weapon by far. What's that?
You hit the mic. So
yeah. I hit it. Yeah.
And for 4 times now, so.
Now you guys got to get drunk. But losing Watson kills the team, honestly, and they were bad already, so I wouldn't expect a whole bunch.
With Watson, they would not be good.
Right.
But without Watson.
I mean, you're almost 5,000 yards, 30-some touchdowns. Come on. It's
on
silly.
His best day.
It's silly.
Tyrod isn't that.
He's not. And I like him, and I hope his lung stays inflated this year.
As long as nobody sticks a needle in it.
But anyway.
Jaguars at Texans, not a game you want to either watch or get fantasy players out of.
I'll watch it.
I'll watch it when it slides by on the Red Zone channel.
Yes.
Okay, Chargers at Washington football team. This is probably going to be a better game than you may anticipate. Washington football team has a really good defense. Chargers pretty good offense. Remains to be seen what we're going to see out of the football team's offense itself, because we love the beard, but depending on which beard shows up.
We talked about this last night, in fact, Kevin,
yeah.
At length, because Kevin and I do that, and we basically do a show on the phone. Or was that today?
Was this morning.
Was it today?
Yeah,
it was today.
We should probably save this for the show.
Yeah, but I honestly think that Washington is going to surprise a lot of people. I think even though they don't have a name, they have some pretty good players. Their defense is super legit.
They are.
And their offense, I think, is pretty good.
They do have some players. Let's talk about those Chargers first, though. Justin Herbert, if you drafted him, absolutely play him. And why wouldn't you have drafted him?
I like him.
Austin Eckler, in a PPR, I think he's an absolute. He's a first or second round pick. So whether it's a PPR or not, if you drafted him in a standard, you got to do a little more strategizing, quite frankly.
Well, sometimes they just turn out to be the best guy on the board.
Fair enough.
And you grab them.
And receiving yards count. You just don't get points for the catch. Right. So, chances are he would not have been as high on a list.
Would you not
standard.
draft McCaffrey in a standard? Of course you would.
No, but it's those receiving yards that are just the gravy on the taters.
I know.
If you know what I'm saying.
Gravy on
the taters.
Jesus
All right,
Christ.
so Keenan Allen, absolute play. Mike Williams, we say this every year. This is year 5 of saying if he can stay healthy and if he can get consistent, he's a talented guy.
He's very good.
Who should be playable, but he's just not. Jared Cook is certainly playable as a tight end. In this offense, I'm actually looking forward to seeing what he can bring to it. And he's also one of those guys who can catch 3 touchdowns in a game or catch nothing. He's not one of those guys that's targeted a huge deal, and it'll be interesting to see how he fits into this offense. But he is one of those guys that is drafted relatively high for a tight end. Thus, don't get cute. Put the man in. Beard from the Washington side, we've talked about this guy for seemingly decades now, but it's not that. Beard game, on point.
On point.
Sometime football game,
I'm going to tell you right
point.
now.
Sometime it's not.
If nobody drafted him in your league,
go get him.
Find a place for him at the end of your bench. Because there was a time, not that long ago, where for 4 weeks of a season, he was the best quarterback in the NFL.
You remember, he was with the Bucs. It was the first 4 weeks of the season.
He was fantastic.
He lit it up, and then Jameis got healthy, and that was
They brought Jameis back in, and Jameis lit it up.
Jameis lit it up. So last year, Beard is at Miami for the first 6 games.
Right.
And he did
was
really,
great.
really well.
He was. He was
to
great.
the point where it was actually shocking when the coach said, "Yeah, we're going to pull."
And he was sad.
This guy,
and he got sad.
He got sad. He was very unhappy.
One sparks joy. That one did not spark joy.
Not for the Beard.
No.
So yeah, if you got the Beard, he's not an automatic play because he didn't get drafted high enough. You'd probably have a better quarterback, but if you waited until the 12th round because all that value was just stacking up on your team, and you have the Beard, do not be ashamed to put him in.
I'd put him in.
Yeah.
I'd play him.
Antonio Gibson, absolute play. Don't have to tell you that. J.D. McKissick was the most targeted running back in the NFL last year from a passing game standpoint. If you're in a PPR and you have McKissick, at least consider him for your flex.
The hell out of him.
Yeah, do the flex deal. Even a half PPR maybe, depending on who else you have.
I would flex him there too.
Yep. Terry McLaurin, absolute 3 enthusiastic thumbs up. Curtis Samuel, we talked about before.
The third one's his penis.
That's correct. And it's about anyway. So Curtis Samuel, we talked about. I love the guy. He was a top 25 wide receiver last year in fantasy, but he's got that groin, and he's on a different team with other targets here that could cause a problem for him.
I like it, though.
I do like him. So, yeah, keep an eye on him. If he's healthy, flex-worthy to be sure. Love Logan Thomas as a tight end as well. Adam Humphries is on the team, and he's probably the flex guy, but they have better options.
Right. Seahawks, Colts. This one's pretty easy, honestly.
Play everybody.
Russell Wilson you're going to play. Chris Carson you're going to play. Metcalf and probably Lockett.
Probably.
Lockett's going to be, a flex or a WR2 if you went deep on running back.
Sure.
I like Gerald Everett in this situation too. He's not going to hit every week, but Will Dissly, who's down the depth chart from Everett, we saw 2 or 3 times a year consistently would have a huge game.
But it was only 2 or 3 times a year.
Yeah, but you don't want to miss out on that. So play him. You probably don't have Everett, but if you do, I sanction it.
He'll allow it.
From the Colts side, Wentz, we're obviously going to fade. I hopefully you drafted somebody ahead of him, but that might not stay that way for long. I mean, if he starts to play well and he's outperforming the guy you drafted before him, feel free. Everyone else you drafted from this team, which are Jonathan Taylor and Michael Pittman, you're going to play those two for sure. I mean, Pittman is an up-and-coming wide receiver that we've talked about on the show many times this preseason. We like his potential. And Taylor, I think, is pretty obvious.
He was a second-round guy, so, you're not going to draft him there and then not play him.
We've had questions about Doyle and Mo Alley Cox, and I don't know. They got a new quarterback. Who knows? Doyle consistently is okay.
Consistently mediocre.
Year after year, kind of like us, Kevin.
Not unlike us.
So, but you didn't didn't draft him as your number one tight end, so you're not going to play him this week. I like Pittman. Eventually, I like T.Y. when he comes back.
I'd love to like Paris Campbell. Just can't yet.
Me too, not yet. But I think Pittman's going to surprise a lot of people. I think he'll be a top 15, top 10 wide receiver this year, assuming Wentz is okay.
And assuming health.
For sure, yeah. But Taylor is obvious, so.
And, there you go.
And there you have it.
So here we are, Jets at Panthers. There's a lot to like in this game. I really think Zach Wilson's going to be good. But, again, rookie quarterback first start. I really want to see a lot before I go anywhere near him. Now, if you drafted him, absolutely keep him. Don't think, even if he has a couple lousy games, because I think he's going to find his groove.
5 lousy games, I would still hold on to him.
Exactly. Well, you look at what happened with Herbert last year. He didn't see the field for the first few. Came in, was a little rocky, and you started to see it, and then
all of a sudden, boom, amazing.
He won people leagues last year.
Yeah, dude, me.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
So the running back situation here is a little murky. Number 1, they're Jets. Number 2, Tevin Coleman is
Jets. Oh, I'm sorry.
Huh?
No, you were talking about.
number 2, they're Jets. Yeah, and number 3, still Jets. No, but you got Tevin Coleman, who we've seen do okay in certain places, but nothing consistent. Ty Johnson, who knows, maybe. But then you got a guy named Michael Carter on this roster, who on the depth chart is 3rd. I don't think he's going to be there for long. But for this first game, who's to say? I don't think you're desperate enough yet to put any of these guys in. If you are, again, question your draft strategy. So I'm going to fade all those guys. For the receivers, I think Corey Davis is at least worth a flex look.
Yeah, I like it.
He is good. I like Keelan Cole, but not yet. I like Elijah Moore, but not yet. I want to see what Zach Wilson brings. I want to see what the offense looks like. I just want to see it.
We actually had a question in the chat. Mass Miami Law said tempted to start Elijah Moore over Ronald Jones at a flex. I don't know. I think I would stick with Jones. I think Jones will touch the football at least 8 times.
Agreed.
I don't think Elijah Moore has that guarantee.
No, but I think if Elijah Moore does touch the ball, it could be in an end zone somewhere.
I'm not disagreeing with that, but it's week 1.
Right. I mean, all this is speculation. Anybody who tells you they know what's going to happen is lying.
Yeah.
Right. So
this is the best week to make money in Vegas.
It is.
Because nobody knows what the hell's going on.
There's educated guesses. You do half an hour's research on a game. You can, maybe dive in.
Yeah, you might think the Bucs are going to beat the Cowboys, right?
You might.
But we could be totally wrong. Cowboys might beat them 40-0. We don't know.
I'd take action on that score.
What's the odds?
Odds?
Well, I mean, you got to have 40-0. You got to give me significant. You got to give me 100-1.
No.
I'll bet you $1 on 100-1.
I bet you would. I'm going to fade these, except for Corey Davis, who's flex worthy. I wouldn't go Cole or Moore. Tyler Kroft, I don't know. I know it's a different team, different coaches, all like that, but the Jets traditionally ignore their tight end. And until I see, a tight end with 100 yards and a touchdown out of this crew, I'm going to pass on them. Thank you anyway.
Yeah.
I love the Panthers this year, dude. I mean, Christian McCaffrey's back, fully healthy. I think they upgraded at quarterback. Yeah, I love 2 gloves, but I think Darnold's a better quarterback.
So do I.
Overall. Yeah. Chuba Hubbard is there to back up Christian McCaffrey. I like saying Chuba Hubbard, but it's Chuba, I think.
It's Chuba.
Yeah. So, of course, you got to play McCaffrey. Don't know about Darnold. I don't think he was drafted very high, if at all, in a lot of leagues.
I hope he surprises people.
I think he will.
I hope he does.
We saw him do pretty well in New York
on
occasionally.
Yeah,
right. I mean, but I think here with this team, it's not quite as dumpster fiery.
Yeah,
it's not quite as desperate. There's better guys around him. Really, in New York, he was expected to put the team on his shoulders and go. He's got a guy named McCaffrey behind him who already has the team on his shoulders.
Yeah,
so he's good. As far as the receivers go, Robbie Anderson, DJ Moore. DJ Moore, I absolutely play. Robbie Anderson, I'm a little more skeptical.
I want to love him.
I do. But like I said before, and Drew actually pointed this out on a tweet, he has his best games on your bench because you really don't trust him.
Yeah.
If you're going to trust him tomorrow or this weekend. Trust him on Sunday.
Yeah.
Because, he was a top 25 wide receiver last year, but you look at the games that got him there. It wasn't consistent production.
No, it was like 4 games.
It was, yeah, and those games count.
Yes.
Maybe week 1 is that game. Yeah. I would absolutely play DJ Moore. I mentioned Terrence Marshall earlier. We saw Curtis Samuel have a top 25 wide receiver season with Teddy Two Gloves. I think Terrence Marshall is going to fill that role very nicely and actually expand on it. I think he's that good. But I'm not going to take that chance on week 1. There's other options, and there's better, more consistent options.
Fair enough.
The tight ends are Arnold and Thomas, and
they exist.
They're tight ends, and they're getting paid, but not on my fantasy squad.
Vikings, Bengals. This one's pretty easy, too. You probably didn't draft Kirk Cousins first, but if you did, I don't hate it, and I'd play him.
I did in one league.
Okay. Honestly,
dude, I had the value, wide receiver, running back value stacking up in the late
honestly, he's fine. He's fine. Look, I'm not excited, right, but he's fine. Dalvin Cook, I think, is a guy you might want to play. Yeah. Probably drafted him number 2 or number 3 overall.
Hop out on that limb.
Jefferson and Thielen are 100% starts, and the tight ends are people that exist, but Herndon you're not going to play and stuff. But, obviously it's Cook and the receivers. You're going to play them. From the Bengal side, it's a little bit more confusing.
A little more murk.
I like Burrow, but again, you probably didn't draft him as your number 1. If you did, I'm fine with it. Go for it.
Good luck with that offensive line.
He was good, and he had the same line last year, and he was good enough to play every week.
They missed him when he was gone, shall we say.
For sure. I would play Mixon while he's healthy. Get it in. You know what I'm saying?
I do.
I like Higgins. Chase is a bit of a question mark here. I mean, rookies in their first start. I know you probably drafted him early enough to consider him a flex. But honestly, I would start Tyler Boyd over him at this point.
Dude dropped a lot of passes. He had 5 targets in the preseason, dropped 4 of them.
It's preseason, though. I mean,
still, dude. When your job is to catch passes and you drop 80% of them.
He was one of the best receivers in college football
in 2019.
Opted
out senior year.
He did, which is fine. Can't judge people. Health decisions.
Well, I'm not judging him as a person. I'm just saying that he was
I would play
a really good receiver.
I know that
2 years ago.
He's ahead of Boyd on the depth chart, but I would play Boyd over him week 1 until we get some data.
Absolutely.
T. Higgins, I would totally be comfortable playing in a flex. You probably have better players, but if for some reason you don't, or people are injured or whatever,
or if you get 2 flexes,
yeah, I would totally play Higgins, Mixon, and I made my case for Burrow. But that's it. We're not going to play CJ Uzomah or anything.
Oh,
so,
no. Good
so
God,
it's on
no.
you.
Freakonomics Radio is sponsored by Adidas. Check out the latest footwear innovation from Adidas, the Adizero Adios Pro 2, which features carbon fiber energy rods that are both lightweight and precisely tuned for a more anatomical transition. Everything from the ultra-light polyester upper to the resculpted midsole and the reinvented outsoles are designed for speed. Visit adidas.com to learn more today. Freakonomics Radio is sponsored by Adidas. Check out the latest footwear innovation from Adidas, the Adizero Adios Pro 2, which features carbon fiber energy rods that are both lightweight and precisely tuned for a more anatomical transition. Everything from the ultra-light polyester upper to the resculpted midsole and the reinvented outsoles are designed for speed. Visit adidas.com to learn more today.
All right, Cardinals at Titans. I love this game. I can't wait to see it. Kyler Murray is your quarterback, and he's one of those first 5-round type quarterbacks, which doesn't really excite me. I have him in a couple of leagues. I actually have him in a dynasty league, and he actually fell in the 5th round, and I grabbed him there in another league. He's an absolute play. If you draft him, you got to play him. He's going to get you just as many points on the ground probably as through the air. These running backs, I have high hopes for Chase Edmonds. We've seen him have pretty good games as a starter, and we've seen him kind of fall flat as a starter. I'm not real sure what the presence of James Conner is going to do to his confidence or his workload, but I think Chase Edmonds, because he was an early draft pick, early enough anyway, 5th round, 4th round, that he's certainly at least an RB2 in this scenario. Connor, I think, is probably going to play his way into a bigger role as the season goes, which is bad for Chase Edmonds owners, but good for James Conner owners. But this week, I don't know, maybe he's a flex. You probably have a starter as opposed to a second-tier guy who you can put in your flex spot instead of him. Love the receivers, but I'm only going to recommend, of course, DeAndre Hopkins. That's not even a recommend. Of course, you're going to play that dude. Christian Kirk, in a lot of my leagues, just didn't get drafted until the end, and I don't know why. And I did research to see if he was hurt. He's not. I did research to see if somehow his skills had diminished. Apparently they haven't. It can't be the presence of A.J. Green, because he's 1,000 years old. I mean, and he was never a speedster type guy, and Kirk is. So for whatever reason, Christian Kirk is available late. He might even be available on your waiver wire right now. But he's the starting receiver in the NFL on a team that is supposedly, Lyle, a run and gun type offense. So yeah, go see if he's available.
Is that a thing still? Run and gun?
Run and gun? I think it's more. That would be run and shoot.
Yeah, same thing.
Right, but more of it's not so much a quote-unquote offense now, but a way to describe, an offense that passes the ball a lot. And it's Kingsbury.
So every offense in the NFL?
More often than not, yeah. A.J. Green, never much of a speedster, more of a high pointer, type of player. Really good route runner. He's lost a lot. We haven't seen anything out of him the last couple of years due to injury, so can't recommend him, of course. And Max Williams, your tight end, not going to go anywhere near that dude. Hey, look, Ryan Tannehill. Let's talk about these Titans. I'm considering the Titans for my girlfriend this year just because, I like watching them. Tannehill.
We've made out a few times.
Yeah? A little heavy petting. Got to third base. Yeah?
I went underneath the shirt a couple times.
Yeah? All right,
see what was there. There were hard pecks there.
Yeah?
Very hard pecks.
So Derrick Henry, obvious. Tannehill, literally obvious. A.J. Brown, obvious. Julio Jones, damn obvious.
Yeah.
Josh Reynolds, no.
I think Julio might actually be better this year.
Well, I think he's playing with a dare I say, better quarterback.
I mean, it is. At this point, it is.
It is.
Matt Ryan might have been better at one point in his career, but
sure.
Now, certainly not.
Right.
Certainly a better running game. He's got a comparable, I won't say better, but a comparable receiver on the other side.
Sure.
Right. Dude, I'm excited about him.
Okay, you're going to double Julio and leave A.J. Brown one-on-one?
Open? Yeah.
You're going to double them both? Okay, I'm going to play Anthony Ferkser in the tight end spot.
Absolutely.
You bet your ass I will.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, Henry can catch passes out of the backfield.
Sure. I'm going to play him.
Wow. You shouldn't do that anymore.
I hit my glasses on the mic.
Couple beers, Lyle starts knocking into the microphone. Anyway, so yeah, love most of the guys on this team. Josh Reynolds from the Rams for the last couple of years has been good, but he's the slot guy now. I kind of want to see it first. Really though, if he's on the field, he may be the most targeted receiver. Slot guy, in the division, just because the two outside guys are pulling such attention. Reynolds is going to be on what, like a safety?
Yeah.
Linebacker?
Yeah.
So, maybe consider him down the road. But that's really it. Ferkser, I do like him for a tight end as well.
All right, and what is your game of the week? Clearly, the 49ers are taking on the Lions. You got Trey Lance.
It's a game of the week if you're a 49ers fan.
Yeah, Trey Lance, that's a hard pass. Is he the starter or is Jimmy G?
Jimmy G, I think, has got the nod for week one.
Sure, that's a hard pass, too.
Who knows, though? I mean, coaches don't tell you anything.
I would play Mostert while he's healthy, for sure.
Get a game out of that, dude.
That's a good play.
I think last time he played Lions, he had 200 yards and 4 touchdowns or something crazy.
I like both receivers and the tight end, I think. Ayuk and Debo I would definitely play.
Sure.
I like George Kittle, obviously.
You think George is going to be okay this year?
He's an adequate tight end in the NFL.
Yeah.
So I'd play him. From the Lions side, man.
2 guys.
Is there?
There's 2 guys.
I wouldn't play Goff, so
that ain't one of them.
Swift, maybe.
Swift, I think, is flex-worthy.
And then Hawkinson.
And then Hawkinson.
Yeah, I'm on St. Brown, Williams, Quintez Cephas. Like, I want to see these guys do well.
By the way, one of the best fresh fantasy football team names I've seen this year is Goff, Uck, Yourself.
Love it.
That was in the Kevin Free League. Yeah.
Very good.
Not bad. You all right over there?
I'm fine. I just had to burp.
I see that.
So yeah, you're gonna play Hawkinson. You're probably gonna play Swift, although I think you're gonna be disappointed in Swift. Honestly, dude,
and it's not Swift's fault.
No, Jamal Williams might be super dangerous here at some point.
Yeah, short yardage, goal line type of things.
It's the Lions. Let's be honest, guys. It's pretty much a hard pass.
Yeah, it is.
If you drafted a Lion, shame on you.
I drafted Swift in a couple leagues. I didn't get Hawkinson, though.
You did it to yourself.
Yeah, well.
So every week when you're like, should I play this person? Just remember, look in the mirror and go, I effed myself here. I'm looking at you, Brian Lyon. I effed myself.
Our buddy Brian.
I have nobody to blame but me.
Say that to yourself.
Steelers-Bills. This ought to be a good one.
Steelers-Bills. Game of the week of the month. You got Big Ben Roethlisberger trotting back out there, or should I say ambling back out onto the field for, I don't know, another last season. Who knows? So you got rookie running back Najee Harris. You've also got Kalen Ballage, who in the preseason did a lot of running. They also have Benny Snell, who really didn't get a whole lot of preseason action. So this running back crew kind of scares me a little. Obviously, it's going to be Harris taking the lead here.
That's what everybody thinks. I'm not
100% convinced it's not going to be a three-headed committee.
He's a talented dude.
He is.
Without question. But it scares me.
Yeah, it's tough to play a rookie and count on a rookie, but to get Harris,
in their first game,
to get Harris, you had to spend a second round.
I saw him in the first a few times.
Yeah,
late first, man. 10, 11.
So you grab the guy to play. You got to play the guy.
Yeah, you got to play him.
So I love these receivers. Juju Smith-Schuster was a great player when Antonio Brown was there, and they've added Chase Claypool and Deontay Johnson since. Now, Schuster's like the third best receiver on the crew.
Yes. Deontay is highly targeted.
Right.
And Claypool is just a dynamic playmaker.
If there's going to be a jet sweep on that team, it's going to be Claypool running it. So, honestly, though, I'd play all three of them.
I don't hate it.
If you got these guys, you had to go early for them.
Any one of them deserves at least a flex. Obviously, Johnson is higher than that. And
right.
Claypool might be a WR2 as well.
And Schuster was drafted a little later, so maybe he's not as automatic as the other two guys are, but he's certainly flex worthy, if nothing else. So you got two tight ends here. Eric Ebron, who has, at this point, he's a journeyman, right? So you got him, and you can play him, and he's worthy, I guess.
He's still kind of good.
He's still kind of good. And then they drafted a guy named Pat Freiermuth, Freiermuth.
Yeah, it's Frere.
Okay, unpronounceable.
No,
anyway,
I'm making it up.
So, from all indications, he's a guy you might want to at least have on your roster, second tight end, if you keep those. I think he could take over the gig, but really it's a tight end. Unless you have one of the big boys, then, you're going to be looking at the Pat Freiermuths.
Big boys.
Are you drunk?
No.
All right.
But it's funny when you say big boys. Am I buzzed? Yes, I've had 3 beers.
All right.
They were good, too.
Yeah. All right, so from the other team side, you got Josh Allen. Of course you're playing him. Dude's an MVP candidate walking into the room. Just saying. Zach Moss and Devin Singletary.
Yeah, you're not wrong.
Yeah. Zach Moss, Devin Singletary. It's hard to A, like either of these guys fantasy-wise, or B, choose between them. Because Zach Moss should be the guy, but you can make an argument for Devin Singletary being the guy. I'm going to make the argument that neither of them are the guy.
Well, the problem that they have is their quarterback's a pretty good running back, too.
That doesn't help. So, and I'm sure they're swell fellas, but I have no interest in stepping out week one and plugging one of these guys into my lineup. Neither of them were early round picks in most.
You look at 7, 8, 9.
Yeah, or it may be as early as 5th.
Really, for who?
Maybe I saw Moss go in the 5th.
That's a mistake.
And it stuck out to me like Zach Moss in the 5th. So. If you cared that much about him to pick him that early, plug him in as a flex. Go ahead. Stefan Diggs, absolutely.
Of course.
Gabriel Davis and Manny Sanders, maybe at some point, but week one you have better options, no doubt. Dawson Knox, we've seen him do amazing stuff. But
really like him.
I do.
Yeah.
I think there's just other options on this team for the ball. But again, if you waited to get a tight end till late, Dawson Knox might be your huckleberry. So go ahead and plug him in if he's your guy. But temper those expectations, please.
For sure. We got birds.
We do.
Eagles, Falcons from the Philadelphia side.
This is a replay of week one after the Eagles won the Super Bowl.
It is.
Lyle and I went to this game. It rained its ass off with a thunderstorm. They had to clear the stadium, and everybody was in the concourse.
Yes.
And then when the thunderstorm stopped, Lyle and I went out watching them hang the Super Bowl banner in the Lincoln Financial Field. That was very awesome.
Yeah. They also played them week one the last year of Chip Kelly.
That's true.
They did. They lost that game. I remember because it was the day my mom died.
Oh, geez, dude. Sorry about that, but
so we'll just hang that on you.
Yeah, let that marinate a little bit.
Anyway, it really was.
I know.
It was September 15th, 2015. Anyway, yeah, I just lowered the mood a little bit. Jalen Hurts, we're definitely not going to play in his first start this year. However, I don't think it's a terrible play against this defense that was not good.
They were not
like
good.
In DraftKings or something. Hurts is a guy I would target this week, honestly.
Well, the thing is, you have no idea what he's going to do.
You don't.
It could be a complete pooch screw, or he may run for 100 yards and throw for 303.
I think we can count on 250 and 2 touchdowns in the 250 total and 2 touchdowns in this game.
You mean 250 running and passing?
Yes, combined.
I anticipate better than that.
I do too, but I'm saying as a baseline.
No, you're not trying to get too excited.
Correct. 250 and 2, I think you can count on. So if you're desperate in DraftKings or something, I think it's not a bad play. Otherwise, I would fade him, obviously, and probably for the foreseeable future.
Sure.
Sanders, we're obviously going to play. Goddard, I would absolutely play. Honestly, I think Zach Ertz is probably a sneaky play.
I'd play him too.
The receivers, I want to play Devonta Smith, but I honestly, I just think it's too early.
I have him in on a flex in a league.
I think that's probably a mistake.
You haven't seen the rest of my receiving crew.
I mean, if you have to, it's fine. But a rookie in his first start.
Have you seen the routes this guy can run?
To be fair, he's clearly the best route runner on the team, and
that's a pretty low bar, though.
It is, and I think he's got the speed to do all the other stuff too. So I don't think Rager's going to outrun him and be the deep guy all of a sudden. So I think he's clearly the best receiver they have right now. He's just not the most experienced. I mean, Greg Ward is there, and obviously
not playing him either.
We've seen things from Quez Watkins that were great.
Not playing him either.
Right. So
so basically, it's Sanders and a tight end.
It's Sanders and a tight end. From the Falcons side, it's sort of similar. We're going to play Calvin Ridley.
Sure.
Obviously. Kyle Pitts, you drafted way too early. So play him.
Yeah, you did.
But Matt Ryan, kind of a hard pass. Mike Davis maybe is a flex, but I don't like him. I'm not convinced.
Well, I mean, he did well last year. Different team, but...
Sure. But... You didn't draft him as a starter. I mean, dude, if he's your flex, I'm fine with it. But other than that,
yeah, he was a early double digit round guy.
Yeah. So, it's Ridley, it's Pitts. Honestly, you won't be disappointed in Matt Ryan. I don't think you will, but I don't think he'll be that consistent either.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah. Browns and Chiefs starting off your late game slate. You got Baker Mayfield. Who they're struggling to find money to pay him for some reason. I don't know. It's Cleveland. But Baker Mayfield went on awfully late in a lot of drafts, and I'm not real sure why. He's got a lot of good guys around him. He's a good player. I think if you have Baker Mayfield, if you drafted him as your first quarterback, comfort in playing him as your starting guy. Not the best guy in the league, but he's certainly in the middle of the pack and ultimately startable on the regular. Nick Chubb, Kareem Hunt, if you have one or both of them, I would find room for him. Kareem Hunt is certainly flexible.
For sure.
And, he might even be RB2. Because look at what they did last year. People were like, should I play both of these guys? Yes. Would you play Kareem Hunt if you didn't have Nick Chubb?
For sure.
Would you play Nick Chubb if you didn't have Kareem Hunt?
For sure.
Then you play him.
If I had both of them, I'd play them.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Right. So, Odell Beckham Jr.
If I had none of them, I'd play them.
If you could get them.
Well, I'm just saying.
Right. So Odell Beckham Jr. back from injury. Apparently he's looking like the old Odell. I don't know if that's good or bad.
So the guy who drops passes and does nothing? Wait a minute. The young Odell.
Yes, the guy who catches passes and punches out kicking nets.
Because the old Odell did nothing for a whole bunch of time.
He did. So we'll see. I'm not going to play him. I'm not going to play Jarvis Landry either unless you have a flex spot in a PPR that you're trying to fill. It's week 1. You probably have better options.
PPR, I'll allow it, but yeah, you're right.
Yeah. Austin Hooper, why not?
Adequate.
Yes, he will fill the spot to be sure.
Yeah.
Conversely, on the Chiefs side, of course to Mahomes, right? Of course to Tyreek Hill.
There's a few players.
Yeah. I'd even play CEH, dude.
You think?
Absolutely. He was a second, third round pick. So
what about the tight end? Maybe?
Something about Kelsey, man. I think he's going to have a nice year.
Yeah.
Yeah. Of course, you're going to play Tyreek Hill. The other guy on the other side of the field, a receiver who doesn't really get all that much attention for some reason, probably because of Kelsey, is Mecole Hardman.
Yeah.
Certainly playable in a flex.
He's 100% dangerous.
He is. And you know what? Demarcus Robinson is too.
Yeah.
But again, he's down the depth chart. So this early in the year, you're probably not going to need him. And later on, he's going to have really great games on your bench.
Well, with Sammy Watkins gone, you would think that somebody else would have to step up. Not that Watkins did a lot, but
he was taking up a uniform on the field.
For sure.
So I'm thinking Mecole Hardman is going to have a quote-unquote breakout
for
year.
sure dangerous. Look up his 40 times. He's super dangerous.
He's speedy.
Yeah.
And Hill's pretty speedy, too.
Yeah. Tyreek Hill? Yeah, he's pretty fast.
So, yeah, pretty much if you have a Chief...
He might be the fastest player in the NFL.
Well, they're talking about him running against Bolt.
Bolt will murder him.
Well, Bolt's like 1,000 years old.
So,
yeah,
he'll still beat him.
Yeah, I think he'll be running backward at the end.
Yeah.
Waving to Tyreek.
He'll still crush him.
There's
a difference between Olympic speed and
track speed.
And track or NFL speed. It's just different, man.
And I think a lot of it is how quickly you come off the line. That quick twitch go, where
and
track guys are just ready for that.
And just form.
Yeah.
Just form.
Yeah,
guys. But the thing is, in the NFL, you can have that elite speed that totally, if DK Metcalf or Tyreek Hill would have dedicated their lives to track, I think they would be among the best. I don't know that they would be Usain Bolt.
Sure.
But they would be up there.
Well, it's hard to, there's only one best of all time.
For sure.
It's hard to.
But the thing is, there are so many more things that you need in the NFL and the movement and all that kind of stuff, plus the weight, the equipment is heavy and all that kind of other stuff.
Right, and chances are in track, you're not going to get tackled by a linebacker coming across.
You probably won't get hit.
Probably not.
But, so I think that all these guys are incredible athletes, but there's a difference. It's a different craft.
Indeed.
Yeah.
So that's it about the Chiefs. If you got one, play them.
Yeah, all right.
Gym sessions and sweaty summer activities are back, which means more funky smells in your clothes because sweat leaves behind bacteria that causes those hard-to-remove odors. Clorox fabric sanitizer products are ready to zap the stink out of fabrics in your home by getting rid of 99.9% of odor-causing bacteria. Eliminate odors in every load or sanitize fabrics between washes with one of our fabric sanitizer products. Search fabric sanitizer at Clorox.com to learn more. When it counts, trust Clorox. Use as directed.
Freakonomics Radio is sponsored by Adidas. Check out the latest footwear innovation from Adidas, the Adizero Adios Pro 2, which features carbon fiber energy rods that are both lightweight and precisely tuned for a more anatomical transition. Everything from the ultra-light polyester upper to the resculpted midsole and the reinvented outsoles are designed for speed. Visit adidas.com to learn more today.
This is actually going to be a good one, Kevin. Packers Saints. It makes me a little bit sad.
In Jacksonville.
Is it in Jacksonville?
They're playing it in Jacksonville because of the hurricane damage.
Oh. So Packers Saints, it makes me a little sad that Drew Brees isn't there.
A little bit.
Right.
End of an
Aaron
era.
Rodgers, Drew Brees, that used to be a thing.
You can still see Drew, though, in the studio.
You can. Mm-hmm. From the Packers side, it's pretty standard. Going to play the NFL MVP. Going to play the top running back and probably the best wide receiver in the NFL. So Aaron Jones and Devonta Adams are definite plays.
Sure.
And Tanyan's a hard go, too. So that
very
was easy.
touchdown dependent. But the good news is the same guy who threw him all those touchdowns last year still playing this year.
He's still touching the ball every down. Kind of a similar story here with the Saints, although it's really just two players. You're going to play Kamara.
Yes.
Right? I would roll the dice on one of the receivers.
Yeah? Which one?
Probably Callaway at this point.
Yeah.
Probably.
Well, see, that's going against the don't get cute, right? Because Callaway was like late round pick.
It is, but Tom, is he healthy? Is he 100%?
Who?
Is he Michael Thomas?
He's not even playing. He's out for several weeks.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So it's Callaway. Traquan Smith is
iffy.
Right.
At best.
So Jameis Winston, you're not going to play yet, but I would keep an eye on him because
I drafted him for you last night. You're welcome.
And I'm happy about it. We wouldn't play any of the tight ends. It's weird because the Saints used to be like, check, 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 check. You're playing
all
everybody.
They were the
right?
Chiefs back in the day, sure.
You're playing them all. But now it's really, really iffy. I'd probably play Callaway because I think, dude, Jameis is going to sling it, man.
Sure, you know
That's who he is.
Yeah.
You know, so if you can get him into a flex, do DraftKings or something. Traquan's the same way. He's a burner. So not in your regular league. I mean, you might not even have drafted him, but in a DraftKings league, I would totally play him.
Yep, agreed.
As a dice roll. But other than that, man, it's kind of iffy. And I think that the Packers are probably going to win this easily.
I think so as well. Broncos traveling to New York to play the Giants. Teddy Bridgewater, Teddy Two Gloves, Teddy Roosevelt, Lyle, named the starting quarterback over Drew Lock. Tough to say. I mean, both of those guys looked okay in the preseason, so they didn't get rid of Drew Lock. So I don't know if Teddy's leash is short or long, but
he's
the guy now.
Short, I would guess.
Yeah, I would guess if he starts really throwing the ball in the wrong color uniform, et cetera, then maybe Drew steps in. But for now, it's Teddy Bridgewater. And with all that being said, you can't play him. Melvin Gordon, he used to be a first-rounder automatic play. He's not that anymore.
Negative.
I think he still has the skills. He's maybe lost a quarter of a step. The problem with him is he's got Javonte Williams there now, who will, if he doesn't start this Sunday, at some point will, and we know it's going to be a share. Even we had Melvin Gordon and Philip Lindsay on the same team. Gordon
Melvin
didn't
who?
What did I say?
Gordman.
Yeah, Melvin Gordon. Take it easy over there, drinker. Anyway.
Oh, am I a drinker now?
You've always been a drinker, dude. Even when you weren't drinking, you were a drinker. But you know what? I'm a drinker, too.
Is that a thing?
I don't know. Anyway, even when Lindsay was there, Gordon, had the issue with the timeshare, and I think Javonte Williams is going to be the same issue.
Yeah,
that's not to say I'm not going to play Gordon. I'm just not going to play him this week. I drafted him in a couple leagues, but I got him late, so I'm not counting on him week one. Javonte, I hope to be able to count on down the road, and not week one. Cortland Sutton, I'll play because you had to get him relatively early. Same thing with Jerry Jeudy. I like both of those guys. At some point, Tim Patrick, maybe, not week one. And Noah Fant costs you pretty big tight end bucks going in. So, yeah, absolutely play him if you drafted him to be that guy. Oh, so you're sliding down to the Slightly Mighties?
Yeah, it's
nice.
Basically a water.
It's like a.
I thought I'd have a water.
A transition beer to get you back on the road.
Quite literally.
Click. Yeah, that's right. So Danny Jones is your quarterback for the Giants in a make or break year for him. You all right over there?
Yeah, I just shifted it and I hit the table.
All right, so you got Danny Jones, who we're not going to play. Saquon Barkley apparently is not going to have a full workload because they're going to try to bring him back slowly.
Yeah,
I don't buy it.
Are you playing him?
I would absolutely play him.
I'll take 10 touches from him.
Absolutely.
I'll take 10.
Because the thing is, they're going to say, we're going to bring him back slowly, and he gets in there and pops off an 80-yard run. You're going to put that guy on the bench?
Negative.
Now, that being said, if there is ever a week to consider playing Devontae Booker, this is it.
Dude, he's good.
If they actually limit Barkley's touches to 10,
he's got skills, man.
Booker could get 15 or 20.
For sure. He's got skills.
Third string running back, I actually think they only have 3 on the 53 right now is Gary Brightwell, who's a local kid. Just saying. So I don't know that he's going to get any time, but you're not going to play him either way. We talked about Kenny Golladay and his injury issues, so squint and keep an eye on what his situation is.
He's on a pitch count.
If he plays, I still may not play him, dude.
I hate that they call it a pitch count.
I know. I do too.
In football.
A snap count? I buy that. I buy a snap count.
It's not a pitch count. There's
It's
no
not
pitching.
because it's not baseball.
Right.
So I probably wouldn't play Kenny Golladay anyway. I want to see the guy get through a game without limping off and having a trainer attend to him. Sterling Shepard, you got better options. Darius Slayton, who we've seen do well,
dangerous,
is kind of down the depth chart now. So I don't know. So I'm going to fade him. Kadarius Toney is getting some conversation around New York, as they do, about him getting some expanded time, blah, 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 blah. Great, pick him up. Put him on your bench. Don't play him this week, of course. And there's really not a tight end that I'm in love with from this Giants team. Got Evan Ingram, who drops more passes. I could make a metaphor, but I won't. Kyle Rudolph's on the team. Caden Smith, don't love it, dude. So really, from this Giants team, it's Saquon Barkley in a limited role even.
Yeah, I'd still play him, though.
That's what I mean. He's the guy to play. Yeah. And that's about it.
I'd play him.
So what you're saying is you'd play Saquon
Dolphins,
Barkley.
Patriots.
So give him a go, is what you're saying?
Yeah, Saquon?
Yeah.
I'd play him.
Yeah.
You probably drafted him in the first or early
or second
round.
Yeah.
Dolphins are a team in the NFL. Tua, probably a hard pass there.
I read that they named their captains. The team basically picks their captains.
Yeah.
He wasn't chosen as a captain.
Doesn't surprise me.
Not a team leader.
This is why this team was trying to trade for Deshaun Watson.
Do you know who is the offensive captain? One of the 2 offensive captains?
Go.
Mac Hollins.
Really?
Former Eagles receiver. I don't even know that he's starting, but he's a captain.
He's definitely not on this list.
Yeah.
Gaskin, I guess. You give a go in a flex. Gesicki, fine. Their best wide receiver is suspended. Waddle, they drafted really early. I'd love to see it, but I'm not starting a rookie wide receiver.
I just don't trust Tua, honestly.
Parker, kind of the same thing. They got a lot of great receiver names here. They have Allen Hurns. They have Albert Wilson. They have Preston Williams. They got Devontae Parker. Jakeem Grant Sr.
Let's see if it translates into
These
points.
are all names we've heard. Isaiah Ford.
Sure.
Right? We've heard all these people, but it's a hard pass. For a team that's not that bad.
They went to the playoffs last year.
Potentially. From the Patriots side, it's kind of the same thing. You going to start Mac Jones in his first start?
Hells to the nizzo.
That's a hard pass. Damian Harris, okay. You drafted him early enough.
Sure. And I think because of the rookie quarterback, they're going to rely on the run a little bit more than they would if Cam was in there. And since Cam is not there running the ball.
You got James White. You got Jacoby Myers. Aguilar, Kevin mentioned earlier.
Ramondre Stevenson.
Yeah.
With his
N'Keal
dislocated
Harry's
thumb.
there. Some.
You're missing my favorite player.
Jonnu or Hunter Henry? Who? Gunner?
Jacoby Myers.
Oh, Jacoby Myers. Sure. All the same stuff.
Yeah.
I mentioned him.
Oh, did you?
First, yeah. But all of them are, I don't know.
Somebody's going to
Dude, with
emerge.
a rookie quarterback and you got all these young receivers, it could be good week 2, week 3, week 5. Week 1, it's kind of a hard pass, bro.
None of these receivers you got early. That's for damn sure.
No. Damian Harris, I'll play. Jonnu or Hunter Henry, fine. If you want to roll the dice there, it's tight end. Who cares? But the rest of these people, it's a hard pass.
Thank you. The Sunday night game is the Bears at the Rams. This might be enjoyable.
You said Sunday.
I did?
You did.
Sunday. My Southern Delaware is coming out. Bears at Rams Sunday night.
Sunday.
You got Andy Dalton is the presumed starter. He got a little salty. He's like, hey, Fields is going to be a great quarterback. And this is my time. It's not up to you whether or not it's your time, pal.
No, he said it. It's his time.
He did say it. That doesn't mean it's true.
Yeah.
There's a guy who has a bigger office than him.
There is.
Yeah. So if it's Andy Dalton, fine. He's certainly capable. We've seen it.
For sure.
He didn't do great last year in Dallas. He had some moments, but he was certainly a playoff caliber quarterback in Cincinnati. Couldn't win in the playoffs, but he could certainly take them there.
Took them there, yeah.
Right. So I'm going to say no to Dalton. Saw him go undrafted in most leagues, whereas Fields was drafted early. Go figure. David Montgomery, if you look at his entire body of work last year, he wasn't great. But if you look at the last 6 or 7 games, he was like a top 5 running back.
Yeah, he was really good.
If he can continue that, I'll say yes. And you had to draft him early to get him. He was a second-round player. So, yeah, you absolutely have to at least give him this week to disappoint you. Damian Williams is his backup. Maybe down the road we'll see what the share is. Allen Robinson, absolutely. Darnell Mooney, Marquise Goodwin, no thanks, not yet. They weren't. I think Darnell Mooney's going to surprise a lot of people. He was wide open a lot last year.
Yep. I love Mooney.
But Trubisky just couldn't see him for some reason.
I love Mooney.
So, yeah, I mean, keep an eye on him. If you have him, great. And look forward to playing him in like week 2 or 3 and then onward. Cole Kmet is actually a decent tight end, and you probably drafted him to play, not early, but he was probably at least your second tight end, and he's certainly playable if you drafted him as your first. So, yeah, like him. What?
We got an email at fantasyfootballguys@gmail.com. That's a warranty for your car email. You know all the phone calls you get? We've been trying to reach you.
I haven't gotten any of those.
Oh, dude. I don't know how that's possible.
It's not possible. I'm messing.
Okay. All right. Well, I just looked and we just got an email that was like, protect your car with your own warranty.
Yeah, I love it. Thank you.
Anyway, are you done? I'm sorry.
I'm not. I have the Rams to talk about.
I got distracted.
Yeah. So, he's a squirrel ran by and Lyle got distracted. You got the squirrel we call you Beer. Anyway, Matty Stafford is your quarterback for the Rams now. The expectations are high for him to be better than Goff, and I don't think that's going to be difficult to achieve.
I mean, no.
Goff did okay.
Yeah.
He didn't do great.
Stafford will at least be okay.
I think Stafford in this offense, I think he has plenty of gas left in the tank. I think he's going to do spectacularly well.
I hope you're right. I am less convinced.
Well, we saw what he did in Detroit with nothing. With a multitude of coaches
but what if,
learning new offenses every year.
What if that's just his game?
If that's his game, if that's the peak of Matt Staffordness that we're going to see, I'll allow it.
Yeah. I'll get you 4K and 30 touchdowns or something.
Sure.
15 INTs.
That being said, I would play him in this game.
Yeah.
Now, he wasn't an early drafted quarterback, but, so he may be your second, so if he is, don't bother. But if you waited and you got him because of the players around him, sure, by all means. Darrell Henderson should be your starting running back. I'm not convinced. The fact that Sony Michel's in town, he could actually emerge as the lead back.
I don't think so.
And it wouldn't surprise me.
Really good, man.
He is. And I drafted him in a couple leagues, and I plan on playing him. But I think Sony Michel's going to eat into that a little bit as it goes. Because if you have 2 running backs that are decent, you try to get them both touches. Number 1, to keep the top guy from wearing down. Number 2, in case the top guy gets hurt, you want the second guy to be familiar with the offense. Yeah. Anyway, so Bobby Trees is a play, absolutely. Cooper Kupp is a play, absolutely.
It's Robert Woods.
Bobby Trees. And I keep forgetting this, dude, but Deshaun Jackson is on the Rams.
Yeah.
And he's still fast. And I guarantee you the defense knows where he's going to be on every play.
For sure.
He's damn dangerous. Not going to play him because I think he's going to be a 4-target, 5-target a game guy.
Yeah, but he will 100% burn the defense for an 80-yard touchdown at some point this year.
He will be the field stretcher.
For sure.
And Cooper Kupp can be that guy too. And if you got 2 of them, danger city for the defense. Tyler Higbee is your tight end, certainly playable. Probably one of the middle tier tight ends in most drafts. So yes, you got him. Go ahead and play him. Absolutely.
Right.
Positively.
And the final game,
the Monday nighter,
and it's Monday the 13th. Ravens Raiders. The Ravens team is pretty straightforward, honestly. You're going to play Lamar.
By the way, happy there's only one Monday night game this year.
I know, right? Isn't that great?
I didn't like the 2 Monday night
games. I hate that, too.
Yeah.
I was going to mention that as well.
Give me one. I like it.
Yeah. Kevin mentioned Lev Bell earlier. Obviously, we're playing Lamar Jackson. I think I said that, but...
you didn't even need to say it. Everybody knew it.
Well, honestly, I don't need to talk about it. You're going to play Gus.
Yeah.
You're not going to play any of the other running backs. Tyson Williams is number 2 on the depth chart right now, but...
Good luck with that.
I don't know what that means. Lev Bell will be there soon. Hollywood, okay. Bateman's still hurt. They have Sammy Watkins. We've seen what he can do. He's amazing for 6 quarters a year. Right? And then he's hurt.
Still speedy.
Dude, I'm not saying he'll be bad, but Hollywood's their top receiver.
Dude, I love watching the games, and he catches one for like a long touchdown, and the announcers sound so surprised.
They're like, Sammy Watkins.
It's Sammy Watkins.
Hey, that's obviously you're going to play Andrews.
Yeah.
One of the top tight ends in the NFL. So, okay, fine. Dude, Gus Edwards might be one of the best draft picks ever in the history of fantasy football because of what has happened with the Ravens.
The guy who picked up Gus Edwards just as a goof because he was the backup and on a run-first team who got him in the 11th round just because is the luckiest person on the planet because now with an 11th round pick, you get a starting running back.
I drafted him in the 4th in our main money league.
Yeah, you did.
I had an extra 4th, and I drafted him. And this was before Justice Hill went down.
Yeah.
And boy, did I hit a home run there. I'm happy.
On paper.
Yeah. Don't know.
Lev Bell comes in, it could all be different.
Speaking about on paper.
Sure.
Speaking of that, we got the Raiders.
I read an article today that it's not John Gruden on the hot seat if they don't win.
Oh.
It's Mike Mayock on the hot seat if they don't win.
I think that's crazy. I think Mayock's a great...
he's a great personnel guy.
For sure. Yeah, he knows.
I miss him on NFL Network at draft time.
Honestly,
and if he got fired, if they brought him back, I'd be happy.
I'd be okay with it.
Yeah.
Derek Carr is an adequate quarterback, but it's not somebody we're going to start week 1. Jacobs, you drafted early enough. You're going to start him. The receivers, I want them all to do well. I think Edwards and Renfro and Ruggs are talented enough to land on the waiver wire show at some point. Right? Am I wrong?
No, I mean...
They will all be people that you play up, you pick up and play in a flex spot or a...
Certainly Renfro and Ruggs.
I mean, Ruggs too.
Ruggs is first-round pick.
They have Willie Snead. Remember him from every waiver wire show every year?
This supposed to impress me?
No, it's just a guy that they have Zay Jones.
Zay Jones, formerly of the Buffalo Bills, I believe.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just saying these names because they're going to show up at some point.
On the waiver wire show, I no longer do.
These veterans will definitely do some damage at some point. Week 1, I'm not playing anybody.
Right.
I will play Darren Waller that you drafted super early.
You think you'll muscle yourself into popping him into the lineup?
So it's Waller and Jacobs and everybody else. You can go ahead and fade. And those be your goddamn week 1 games, bitches.
That's right.
Whew. We'll answer all your questions on Saturday.
Yeah, we're going to do our first Saturday show.
Saturday.
This coming weekend. Yeah, it'll be good. So we'll save your questions till then. If you want to ask more, you can go to, I'll put a Reddit thread up.
Yeah.
You can go in Discord. There's a chat room there you can throw them into. And by the way, if somebody puts a question into the podcast questions chat room, please, listeners, don't answer them.
Yeah, on Discord.
They're for us.
Yeah. There are lineup advice channels for you guys to talk amongst yourselves. If somebody puts it in podcast questions, leave it alone.
It's for us. It's ours.
We'll figure it out.
It's your favorite sport. Anyway, there's also email, of course, too, which is, of course, the fantasyfootballguys@gmail.com.
You can email us there.
Where you can talk to us about our automobile warranty. All right, enjoy your Thursday night game. Go Bucks!
Tomorrow, come hang out with us in Discord, man.
Yeah, we have that. We have the listening party. BYOB.
It's gonna be fun.
And BYOBS.
And BYGDDFI. What?
What is that?
You know. Everybody knows.
Everybody knows. If you don't know, then you just don't know.
Yeah, TGIF.
All right.
MFers.
You're cut off.
No, it doesn't even make any sense.
I know. All right, see ya. He loves you. He means it.
I do. I love you. I mean it.
A lot of us are looking for ways to start our day feeling more joy and appreciation. And while some of us write gratitude lists or do yoga, others pour themselves a bowl of their favorite cereal, Honey Nut Cheerios. Because not only are Honey Nut Cheerios delicious, they can help lower cholesterol as part of a heart-healthy diet. So maybe the secret to a great mood all day is a little yoga. Then writing your gratitude list over a bowl of Honey Nut Cheerios. Learn more about a heart-healthy lifestyle at Cheerios.com.
Freakonomics Radio is sponsored by Adidas. Check out the latest footwear innovation from Adidas, the Adizero Adios Pro 2, which features carbon fiber energy rods that are both lightweight and precisely tuned for a more anatomical transition. Everything from the ultra-light polyester upper to the re-sculpted midsole and the reinvented outsoles are designed for speed. Visit adidas.com to learn more today.